this is Rob, and it is time for another member talk. We are coming to you from the headquarter office here in Spokane, but our guest today is coming to us from Chicago area. We have with us today Barbara Kemmis from the Cremation Association of North America, or CANA. Barbara, good morning, good afternoon. What time is it where you're at?
It is early afternoon.
All right. Well, good afternoon. What a treat to get you on here with us. I know we've had plenty of conversations in the past. We've done it both live and on the phone, and just excited to get you on here. Tell us a little bit. What is CANA? What is the Cremation Association of North America?
Oh, I love answering that question. That's great. We are a 501c6 trade association that was established in 1913, which surprises a lot of people that we've been around that long. We were founded by 40 cemeterians who are passionate about cremation. In fact, they called themselves cremation evangelists, and they had brought the True story. They brought their passion for cremation from Europe, and they immigrated to the United States. So 100 plus years later, we are an association of everybody who's interested in cremation. Our tagline is all things cremation. So funeral directors, cemeterians, third-party crematory owners and operators, suppliers, students, consultants. We have room for everybody, other associations. If you're interested in cremation, we're your source.
So yeah, I mean, going back 100 years, or actually more than 100 years, what advances? I mean, crazy, the amount of advance, the amount of percentage of cremation that we've seen, the explosion of cremation, if you will, over the last 100 years. What are you seeing on a national average? What would you say is a pretty average percentage of people choosing cremation upon their passing?
Yeah, the national average for 2019 is just above 56%. And what's interesting to me is that it took about 100 years from 1876, when the first cremation took place in Pennsylvania, to 1975 for the cremation rate nationally to rise to 5%. So 100 years to get to 5%. And now in 2020, it's over 56%. So it's risen steadily. And in some areas, like the West Coast, like Washington State, faster than others. So.
Yeah, my goodness, Washington, holy majoli. We're 79.4% of the people that pass away in Washington choosing for cremation.
Right, and that's a state average. So many of your members experience higher cremation rates or lower, depending on the communities they serve.
Yeah. I think it's a great time right now to point out, especially for folks that aren't from the funeral profession that are watching this, cremation isn't the end. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with cremation, not just after the cremation, but before the cremation. And so CANA helps to promote that, is my understanding from looking at the website and talking with you. Is that an accurate statement?
That's absolutely correct. Part of our mission is that cremation is preparation for memorialization. And our founder, Hugo Erickson, back in 1913 coined that term. What I find that's interesting, if you can permit me a little history lesson, is that when CANA was founded, those early cemeteries had their own cremation societies. But those cremation societies are not the same entities that we have today. You would pay $25, or if you were very wealthy, $50 a year to this cremation society, and the cemetery would actually build the crematory and build the columbarium on top of the crematory. And you would have your niche, that your personal, unique bronze urn would go into that niche upon your death. So as you talk about pre-planning, right? You're not just pre-planning your own disposition, you are contributing to the building of the crematory itself and the permanent memorialization. They didn't call it a columbarium then, but we call it now. So that's kind of how this started. I mean, no wonder they were evangelists, right? They loved cremation, the aesthetics of it, purified by fire. It's very poetic. I'll end the history lesson there, lest I lose some of your listeners. But it's fascinating listening to those times. But from then until now, our members are 100% dedicated toward memorialization and this notion of direct cremation. You'll notice in the logo behind me, there's no D in front of that C, right? We're the Cremation Association, not direct cremation. Many of our members obviously do practice direct cremation, as do yours. We have to, right? The FTC created that term back in 1983, and so everybody has to offer it. But boy, is it an uphill battle to understand, to help the families that you all serve, that it's not, they don't have to do it themselves. They can get expertise and wonderful options from both funeral homes and cemeteries.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's really what we're here to do, is to educate the public, to let them know that there are so many things that are out there. And if still, after all that, learning all that, they want to do things themselves, more power to them. But, you know, we're here to help. And that's really our ultimate goal, is to serve families. And I know that CANA also shares that same sentiment of, we're here to serve families and to promote the memorialization of people's lives. So I'm just glad that, you know, you guys are a part of what we're doing. We're a part of what you're doing. We're kind of on the same boat of, let's get together and serve. Now, you talked briefly about membership. Who can join CANA? What type of membership programs do you have there?
Oh, great question. So we have multiple categories of membership. Our regular members are for practitioners, and it's a business. So the cemetery, the funeral home, the crematory joins, and then all of the staff, from the owner all the way, all inclusive, all of the staff can sign up to get our newsletters and other communications, take advantage of the discounted education. A lot of the other benefits are toward the business, like our insurance program. We have a custom insurance program for crematories and funeral homes that's cremation first. But mainly what we're known for is our crematory operation certification program, which I'm advertising behind me here. We'll get to that in a minute. And all our education that's on cremation. If you have multiple locations, then we also have an affiliate membership, so you can join at a lower rate, the multiple locations, because actually one of the best benefits, and I always forget to say it, is our online directory. We get almost 1 million hits a year on our online directory from consumers and other CANA members looking for CANA members to request trade business from. But we get calls all the time from consumers who are looking for a business to serve them. And, you know, more and more people live in other states than their parents are, that sort of thing. So they don't know who to choose. So they call us to try to help find options. And then suppliers join CANA, students join CANA. But the regular members, suppliers, all pay $495. It's a flat rate. And then the affiliates are $145 and students $35. So
Well, that's not
pretty
bad at all.
Yeah, I always say our membership survey reveals we're kind of everybody's second or third association. They join their state association first. They need that connection locally and the lobbying and the representation you do at the state level, and then they choose us, or maybe some of those other national associations.
Those other guys.
Those other guys, we love them.
We do love them. Yes, we do. We're a part of all of them. And so we definitely promote everybody for sure. It's kind of a weird time we're in right now. This virtual and,
Yeah.
you know, Zoom meetings and that sort of stuff. I know CANA, originally you were planning on coming out to Seattle, and we were looking forward to having you, but unfortunately that's just not going to work out for your convention. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk how that convention is going to look. What are we seeing with that?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we were contracted to come to Seattle the first week of August this year, but when we realized we couldn't safely meet in person and have everybody participate who we wanted to, we renegotiated that contract. So CANA will be in Seattle first week of August 2021. So you can't keep us away. We're coming your way. But this year, what we're doing is a virtual convention. And wow, we're still building it, I'll be honest, but I'll describe to you what we've put together at this point. We are the same provider who does our convention app has a virtual trade show and networking platform. So an attendee can register, get their link, log onto this platform, and do 3 things on the platform. They can attend sessions, and we're having 4 hours of continuing education. We're having a keynote speaker named Cody Schuin, who has presented at a number of industry events. He's a funeral director himself out of Canada, Ontario, and he's a certified virtual keynote speaker. Yes, the
Wow.
thing. Yes, and so he's written a wonderful book, and we're really confident he'll be inspirational and really connect with attendees. And I love that he's a funeral director. I love that he understands our profession and the challenges that we're facing, including meeting virtually and connecting virtually. And then the other 3 hours will be a combination of, excuse me, of proposals that we received from people about how they've innovated during this time. What are they doing to connect with families, to serve their staff, to protect their businesses? So we can find a whole lot of more information about this on our website. And then we're closing with a panel of practitioners and that panel is still in formation, so I can't reveal. Stay tuned for the big reveal. But we're trying to find people who were in a hot spot and really their business was really extremely affected by the pandemic. Maybe they had staff who got sick, and really talk about that. What happened? How can we plan for, the next wave, or however you want to describe it, as well as represent businesses that weren't as affected. We have members who, everybody was affected, right? Everybody was affected by limited gatherings, having to make choices and educate families about what they could and couldn't do, which was a whole new skill set, rather than saying yes all the time. Of course, we can give you exactly the memorial you want. Now we had to say no more often than not, and that was not good. So we're putting together a panel to describe the whole experience, and they'll talk about what they did, what happened to them, what they did, and also how they're planning in the future. And then we'll allow some time for some conversation. So we're trying to make this convention interactive. So that's the education piece. And then when the education is over, the trade show and networking begins. So really, I'm making it sound like you walk into a ballroom, but what you're doing is looking at a screen like you are right now. And you're on a website, and you click on trade show, and all the exhibitors are listed. And so you can click on an exhibitor and just watch their video or read their content or download their catalog or what have you. But you can also chat with them, both text chat and video chat. And you can text and video chat with other attendees as well. So it's not the same, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the same as walking through a ballroom and visiting tables. Nothing's gonna be the same or replace in person, but it's the next best thing. And we're excited about the platform and the functionality it gives. So give us a try.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I'm seeing you're getting a lot of good backing on it. I'm looking at the website here. You've got folks from Dignity, Homesteader's Life, Kelco, Nomus Publications, NGL, Wilbert. I mean, these are some big names that we would know. Also some smaller names, and that's great that you're getting quite a broad degree of different people coming to this. So I'm excited for it. How can we in Washington join the conference? How can we go to it? Is there a sign up?
There is. So when we decided to go virtual, we decided to make it very accessible, because for those of you who have gone to a CANA convention or other conventions, they tend to be expensive because you get food and beverage, and there's AV and audiovisual, and it's a big production. So the expense side of putting on a virtual convention was completely different. So when we put together the budget, we realized, okay, we can't feed you No open bar this time. It's very sad, but we can make it accessible to a wide range of people. So the pricing, as often is the case, there's a difference between member and non-member pricing. But right now it's $50 for a CANA member, $75 for a non-member, and for 4 hours of continuing education, that's pretty good deal, I think. Yeah. After July 5th, that pricing doubles, so it'll be $100 for a member, $150 for a non-member. So still, that's very affordable. And if you want additional of your staff, if you have staff who need their CE and can come, any additional staff person is $25. So we have a really good response right now. I'm excited. Our first registrant is actually a Canadian member who hasn't come to a convention in a while, and realized, well, you know, he's not going to get to an in-person convention this year, but he was excited for the opportunity, and he signed up 3 of his staff. So you got to love that for the first registrant, Gold Star. But we'd love to have you, have your members attend. We also took into account time zones, because that's a big deal. When we would be in Seattle, all our East Coast members would be up at the crack of dawn searching for coffee, right? Because the time zone was in their favor, so to speak, whereas West Coast attendees, when they come east, are like attending breakfast at 4 a.m. or some ungodly, you know, early hour. I'm not a morning person. So what we decided to do is schedule this so everybody could come together in more of a, it'll be mid-morning to early afternoon, kind of over the lunch hour times for our West Coast friends. So you can check out the actual schedule on the website and plan accordingly. But,
yeah. So yeah, it's looking August 5th through the 6th. Is that right?
Yes.
2020? Okay.
That's right. So.
Very good. And so, yeah, you said when you're having it in Seattle, the East Coasters were always searching for coffee. If you're having it in Seattle, we're always searching for coffee. That's just the way it works in Washington. It's not just specific to Seattle.
Yeah.
So, well, that's great. So as members of CANA, it is a separation between the member and the non-member price. It doesn't sound like it's that much, $25 difference, at least currently. It'll increase as we get closer to. Okay. All right. Very good. So we want to participate as much as we can with you and help you to get that out, and which of course is why we're talking today about it. But we also want to talk about another program, and you did mention it earlier. It's over your shoulder there, the Crematory Operations Certification Program, or COCP. Tell us a little bit about that, because we have some exciting news to talk about after that.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. So CANA started training crematory operators, well, arguably 100 years ago, but formally in 1983. And so we were the first to have this crematory operations certification program. And it was always done in person, of course, because that's how we train, right? But about 3 years ago, we decided to find a way to take it online, and as well as conduct it in person. So I've got good news and bad news. The bad news is we were coming to Seattle to do an in-person training, and for all the reasons we've discussed, had to cancel it. The good news is it's already available online, and not just virtual. We're not talking about an 8-hour webinar. I promise. That would be hard. No, the way we designed it is there's 7 modules to the certification class. And so when someone registers for the class, they can work their way through, and some people do it take a day, sit down, power through. Most people don't do that. Most people do a module at a time, maybe in the evenings or a little chunk of time during their workday, depending on how you want to schedule it. And the learning management system remembers where you left off, so you don't have to start over again when you stop. And it's learn as you go. So there's out of the 8 hours, there's about an hour and a half of video clips spread throughout, but mainly it's exercises. So you're reading, you're matching up terminology or parts of a cremator. You're kind of, I get in trouble with my staff when I call it fun, that they've made games out of it, but that was my experience when I was testing it. So we try to make it interesting to hold your interest throughout it all, and you learn something. The goal with certification is not to weed out crematory operators or people interested in cremation. We want you to gain knowledge. So it closes with an online exam, and it's an open book exam. The book in this case is a PDF that you download, but you can consult it as you're going through the exam. And so over the past 3 years, we've had a lot of, thousands of people get certified through the online certification, everything from mortuary science students, but primarily practitioners. And what we've discovered is that it's really accessible to people, even those who are, I don't really like technology. I have tested it on my iPad as well as a laptop or a desktop. I've heard, I don't have as good a vision as these young people, I guess, but I've heard some people have even taken it on their phones and been able to, to see the video and read the text and manipulate the exercises. So it's really suitable for any platform that you want, and you can do it on your own time. From when you register, you have 30 days to complete the class and take the test, and you get a real, not virtual, a real certificate from CANA to mount on your wall in your place. So the really great news is we're so excited to extend the member pricing to your members, Rob. And
Wow.
that is, yeah, because this new law that is in place is it was June 1st, right? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, so that those who own or operate crematories must be certified and then apply for a license. And as we've discussed, and I'll be transparent, CANA is not the only game in town. There are other certifications you can get, or if you've already been certified within a certain time frame, I'm not sure what that is, by CANA or NFDA or ICCFA or Matthews, that's acceptable. So I don't want to cause any panic. But if you haven't been certified and you want to, we're the only online option, and we're the best, of course, we're the best. So that member price is $495. Normally a non-member price is $595, so that's $100 savings. And there's a code that will be in place. It actually isn't in place at the time of this taping, but the code is WSFDA 20, and that code will be good for that $100 off through the end of 2020. So we hope a lot of your members will take advantage of that.
That's actually a wonderful opportunity, and thank you so much for extending that to us. We're happy to take part of that. The program itself is rather interesting. I know it talks, we've had questions of, well, I've been cremating for 20, 25 years, whatever. I get it. So you're still going to learn something no matter your experience. You're going to learn something if you're brand new. Just looking at some of the course structure, the overview of the cremation process, equipment and operations, the actual cremation process in detail you're learning about. Also things that are becoming very, very important: chain of custody, reducing legal risk. There are so many legal risks with cremation and the cremation process, through the chain of custody, through the operations, all of that. So you're learning how to negotiate through all those different things in this program, as well as the last part it says on here, cremation in the environment, which is something that will lead us into another discussion here in just a minute with the upcoming of alkaline hydrolysis and things like that. But no, we are just super excited to be able to extend that to our members. We'll be putting that together probably in the next few weeks and getting that out there, and getting you the coupon code so that you can do that. And then, as you said, through the end of the year, you can go on, do it at your own time. But once you start it, if I heard correctly, once you start the program, it's a 30-day window. Is that accurate?
Yep, you want to finish it. So the moment you register, you'll have access to the
Okay.
course, but then you want to finish it within a month.
So you have till December 31st to start the process. But once you start it, get it done within the 30 days, which shouldn't be that difficult. It looks to me, especially on your own time, um, you should be able to get through it pretty quick. You get your certificate, you take it down to DOL, you get your license, and everybody's happy again. So thank you so much to CANA and to Barbara for that, for sure, for extending that to us and the opportunity to do that.
Oh, you're very welcome. And could I add one thing that we are developing right now, a module for alkaline hydrolysis. So if
Perfect.
you're listening to this and needs special certification in alkaline hydrolysis, we'll have that available soon, not within the next 2 weeks, but not too soon after that. So we'll give you an update when that's available, and your code will work for that one too.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, because the way the law is, as I understand it, the way the law is written, if you operate any sort of what they're calling now reduction facility, if you're a reduction operator, whether that's cremation, alkaline hydrolysis, or natural organic reduction, you will need to have that certification to get the license to be able to legally operate the machine to reduce the human remains.
Right.
So this is
Right.
a
And
great step.
yeah, and another, I guess, point of clarification is that if you're already certified, you can be certified by your manufacturer,
Mhm.
who, and in some cases, so that may have already happened. You may have those certificates, but it's hard, right? With not being able to travel as widely or bring people in for that in-person certification. So, CANA is that option. But I also want to clarify that, and Rob, you did a great job explaining the curriculum. I mean, thank you for that. You're hired. I appreciate that.
I just read
But
your website.
excellent. But our certification does not replace in any way on the job training or machine specific training. In CANA certification, you will not push anybody. You cannot cremate online. I think we all know that, and it's true. So the CANA certification is more high level procedural, the science of combustion, all the things that we've talked about, and it goes hand in hand with the on-site training, on-the-job training, and manufacturer-specific training.
Sure.
It's all part of the continuum.
Well, one other thing while we're on the topic of the certification, as my understanding, you will want to double check this, but it is my understanding from talking with DOL that your certification that you receive is valid for 5 years, and every 5 years it has to be recertified, at least in Washington. So if you have been certified in the past, if you're within that 5-year window, I would think you're going to be fine. But if you're outside of that 5-year window or you haven't been certified, now is your opportunity to do it, to get a great deal, to get a great price on it, and to connect with another great association, CANA, Cremation Association of North America. So that's really cool. We're excited for it.
Great, thank you. We're excited too. And if anyone has any questions along those lines, if they've been certified by CANA in the past and just not sure when, feel free to give us a call or email me, and we'll find out for you.
Well, speaking of emailing you, what is your email? How do we get in touch with you?
My email is my first name, which is Barbara, at cremationassociation.org. It's a lot to type, cremationassociation.org, but there you go. So please, feel free to connect. And our website is also cremationassociation.org, but we have a little shorter version, gocana.org. So you can find me or all there's 6 of us on staff at CANA who can help you. And gocana.org is also where you can find all the information Rob said to you about the certification program, and also updates on the convention.
Barbara, it has been a real treat to get together with you. I know the last time I saw you, we were fortunate enough to sit down together, have lunch here in Spokane. And that was so much fun to be able to meet you. Just as exciting to get you on here with us and to be able to put this out for people. Again, CANA's convention coming up August 5th and 6th. It is a virtual convention. register now and save the funds. As a member, it's $50, non-member 75. If you register after, I think it's sometime in June or July. I think
July
it's
5th.
July. What's
Mhm.
that?
July 5th.
Oh, July 5th. So register before then and save the funds. But also, thank you again for the extension of the cremation certification program to us as members. I know that we will definitely be seeing a lot of people that will be taking you up on that offer. Start the process, make sure you finish it within 30 days. But you've got till the 31st, and we'll be getting that coupon out and posted for people so they'll know how to access that and get that reduced rate. So Barbara Kemmis, CANA, Cremation Association of North America, thank you again for being a part of this and coming out.
It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. It's always great to talk to you, Rob, and happy to be of service to your members. Thank you.
Absolutely. And as always, if you're interested in joining us, let me know. We'd be happy to get you on here and talk with you. Please rate, subscribe, all those different things that you're supposed to say to keep watching these things. So we love putting them out there, but we need your support. So rate, subscribe, like us on Facebook, and we'll see you again real soon. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.